You're kidding me! Right back again, made a game with my life.
Hello, everyone. It's another week of craziness in the basketball world. I got some news on the fly on the way home.
Ooh, I
From Mr.
got news.
J.
I got
So,
news, boy. Now, I understand. I understand that free agency don't start until in the NBA until 6 p.m. tomorrow, but doesn't mean people aren't trying to make any type of room for any of their plays or anything else. And it's been a lot of rumors. There's one major rumor that's going on right now that I'm gonna get to once we get through here. So, what I messaged Dante earlier was trade just went down on the way into the office here at the studios here at OMS. John Morant finally got moved. John Morant got moved to the Portland Trailblazers for Jeremiah Grant, and I'm trying to click in here and see what the other moves. So, that's a Huter, Nurkic, Champagny, Shamit, Kaminga. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did it go? Shit. Where'd it go? Damn it. I just lost it. All right. So I know he went for Grant, but here's the bigger thing because this is breaking as we goes along here. The move might have been a move to free up space for Jaylen Brown. So right now,
in Memphis?
huh?
In Memphis?
No, Portland. Yeah. So here's what it is. It says what the Blaze. This came out 23 minutes ago from Shams. So Shams Charania poured some cold water on the possibility of Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown winding up with the Portland Trail Blazers after they acquired John Morant for the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday. Morant was Portland's big move as of right now, Charania reported Monday. My understanding is that they're not involved with Jaylen Brown. Okay. So still, the Blazers have several tradable contracts left and a full stockpile of future draft picks at their disposal if they decide to pursue Brown or another big difference-making wing to rebalance their guard-heavy roster. Monday's trade with Memphis squeezes Portland's black backcourt rotation, which now includes Lillard, Morant, Holiday, Scoot Henderson, and Shaedon Sharpe. It also thinned out the Blazers' front court rotation as far as Jeremiah Grant and Chris Murray were sent to Memphis. A package to match Brown's $57.1 million contract would likely be centered on Holiday at $34.8 million and for Toumani Camara $18.1 million and Henderson $13.6, looming as possible additions. The Blazers also hold a total of 9 first-round draft picks between 2027 and 2033 if additional assets are needed. So, now looking at that trade makes absolutely no freaking sense.
I hope it makes sense if you're the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. Memphis has to get out of there. But no, in that instance, no, it doesn't. Because here's my reason why. You didn't get Scoot Henderson or Holiday in return. You got 2 forwards. So why would you get 2 forwards back when you traded your guard in a guard-heavy rotation?
Okay, so here's what I see, and this is why I say they were just trying to get rid of him, and Portland wasn't willing to move the way they wanted to move, and they wanted Ja Morant gone, and this tells you how bad they wanted him gone. That they made a trade that didn't make no sense. That's the only thing that I can take from it.
if that's the case, then that's more of a testament towards that's more of a testament towards the relationship with them versus between him and Memphis
Yeah,
sour and than it is for his value. And that's not a bad, that's very bad. It is it is it just me, or does it seem like a lot of teams are making moves that don't make no sense?
they are, but the thing is if the situation is so bad that the team in question, like Portland, they made sure that like, okay, we're gonna give you something, but we ain't gonna give you what because of the situation that we know you in, we we go we gonna put you in a head scratching situation,
Yeah,
basically.
literally. Because my question now becomes, who's starting in your backcourt? Because Lillard's supposed to be ready to go that game one after his Achilles injury. So
Okay.
is it Lillard and Morant? What happens to Drew Holiday? What happens to Scoot Henderson? Because Scoot's been your starting point guard. So you just made a trade that just jumbled up a whole bunch of it's like people, it seems like this offseason so far, people have been jumbling up jigsaw puzzle pieces and then taking pieces out of it and then trying to make the full puzzle out of it. And none of it might fit, but you still don't have holes. And they haven't figured out what to do with their holes. So in the free agency market, realistically, this season is horrible. So it's not like you're going to get an instant superstar in order to fill any holes that you're going to have, and therefore it's only going to be through trades. So I hope that Portland doesn't bow out of the sweepstakes all the way. I can see Drew Holiday wanting to go back to Boston and possibly making that work. But I don't know. That's going to be interesting. That and John Morant, I hope that he finds some type of career resurrection right now with this, because the only thing that's hot about John Morant right now is his shoes, because they seem to be selling well. Other than that, no.
Support is good.
Yeah. It looks like Kevin Herter is going back to Detroit on a 3-year, $27 million contract. Yusuf Nurkic is returning to the Jazz for 2 years, $22 million. The Clippers picked up Brooke Lopez's team option, but they declined on Nick Batum and Bogdanovich. Champagny is signing a new contract to come back to San Antonio for 3 years, $45 million, after he declined the team option in order to be able to sign this new deal. The Thunder are picking up Lou Dort's option for $17.7 million.
Is he the new is he a new more controlled version of Dak on it? Um
Pat Beverly?
no. I was gonna say oh Jesus. Golden State.
Draymond?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to Draymond in a second, but nah, yeah, kind of, but nah. He's
Yeah,
more.
he you know what I'm talking about. He have his moments where he goes full, but he seems to know how to rein it in better. Or is it just me?
He's always been kind of slightly loose, but he's not never been as much as Draymond was.
Right. That's what I'm saying. he's a different version, more little more polished, a little more under control.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be. I had to think about that one. But he's a better scorer. I give him that much. When Dort's on, he's a better scorer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But everything else, mm-mm.
Yeah, I watched a few games where he kind of where he kind of reminded me of Draymond, but like I said, it's not like a full blown situation. Um, but yeah, the one thing I will say is for Ja Morant, this is a new opportunity, and I hope that he's able to do something with it. Um, what it's sad to see what happened with him, and and like I said, he seemed to have, like, if I could compare the way his career went to anybody's because it was so puzzling, I would think of Chad. And let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
Where Chad wasn't getting in trouble off the field, he had that bravado that was hurting the team that way. And then when he goes to New England and he plays under a more structured situation, it was like he lost his talent. That's where I correlate where they come together. It's like when they put the control on him, like, hey, you got to chill out. You got to stop doing what you're doing. All of a sudden, his dynamic offense and talent and talent seemed to go out the window. It's like, dude, where did it go? What the hell? Huh? What happened? Where did your talent go? All because somebody said, structure yourself. I mean, he was clearly a talented dude before all the suspensions and all that stuff. He clearly had talent.
Mm-hmm.
And just like with Chad, it's like you in Cincinnati, you got your bravado, you you as long as you don't call out too many people and they go full blown, anybody can score can have a anybody can have a good day on us as long as they name ain't Chad Johnson. As,
True.
as long as he didn't run his mouth to that point, Chad was Chad. He's a talented dude. And then all of a sudden he goes to New England. And even when I remember when he did an interview with Stephen A. And this is another reason why I agree, but I don't completely agree with people that talk bad about Stephen A. because they clearly forgot, one, how he kept clamoring for jobs, whether it be to be on the team as a player or be or to hire him as coaches, Chad and T.O. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the screen and I was cussing him out. I'm like, "Why? Shut up." I'm like, they got to learn right now. They have to learn right now. They're in learn mode right now. They thought that their talent could get them through anything that they did, and they get smacked back to reality.
True.
Especially T.O. Like I said, T.O. is a talented dude, but the main time that I love T.O. the most is when I got my video game going, and he could be on my team all he want because I don't have to deal with nothing that the people had to deal with coming
Jesus
from him
Christ.
and coming from him on that. But yeah, like I said, shout out to Ja Morant. Do you have anything else on this? And
Oh, okay. So a few other ones that dropped, like just since I've been on the phone with you, with it, or been on this call with you. Porzingis is coming back with a 2-year, 20 million extension to the Warriors now, and Jonathan Kuminga either declined his option with Atlanta or Atlanta declined his option. So now he's a free agent.
which I kind of figured that would happen. And now the question is where is he gonna go? And
They
is he?
saying the Sacramento Kings are the front runners to try to sign him.
So you go from one team that wow.
Now, here is the question. Here is the crazy part for today.
Okay.
But before we transfer this, so Okie doke got pulled today.
Okay.
Draymond opted out. He didn't opt into his contract.
Okay.
So Draymond is now technically at 6 p.m. tomorrow supposed to be a free agent.
Okay. So
Wendy put it out there and it started to pick up traction. LeBron has not been in contact with the Lakers at all since the offseason. They've reached out to him just like they reached out in order to sign to sign AK for the AR for the Austin Reeves back for
yeah.
him. DeAndre Ayton opted into his contract for the Lakers, and then Marcus Smart opted out.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Ayton opted into his $8.1 million deal.
Why did they let?
Well, it was a player option. They gave him a
Yeah.
player option. But I told you when he signed that, I was like, he's gonna opt into that deal because he's probably not gonna get that money nowhere else. So he opted in. But here's the thing. With the Lakers, with him being basically off the grid with the Lakers, but he's been posting that he's been on this golf tour all over the world with the 2016 Cavs, excuse me, and everything else. The rumor is now that his number one choice to go to is the Golden State Warriors for the $15 million mid-level exception.
Mm-hmm.
So they had I can't remember his name. The guy that used to be a GM that's on that be on ESPN. He sat there and he worked out the numbers for it because there's another caveat that's out there for it. They're
What's
trying
that?
to get Anthony Davis as well. So the reason why they're saying that Draymond opted out was Draymond would take the price cut in order for them to be able to give LeBron the mid-level exception and for them to orchestrate a trade with Washington to get Anthony Davis there, to put Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Draymond Green at a reduced price, and Steph Curry all together with a team for one last run. And that was the idea and the plan that they presented to Steve Kerr in order for Steve Kerr to decide to come back and re-sign after he was basically saying he was done after this season. Now, you know that's my two squads.
Wow.
Would I like to remember we had this conversation a while back where I said LeBron don't stay in LA. What would keep him from not going to Golden State? Because he
Yeah.
said, and Kendrick Perkins today on NBA Today brought up a very good point. He said, "When was the last time you saw LeBron out playing basketball happy?"
Well, he had moments where he was bringing his he was bringing the bravado.
Yeah,
Uh,
but like the joy of playing basketball. When was the last time you saw him really like joyfully bouncing around playing basketball?
when he was in the East.
Nope. 2024 Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And who was his teammate that he was gloating over that he loved playing with?
Stuff.
Those Olympic teams are starting to become basically free agency powwows. Oh, by the way, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Draymond Green, all Clutch Sports, Rich Paul.
Mm.
So the question, my biggest question to you is, and here's the other part. Jimmy Butler, the one problem with the math when they were looking at it was that Jimmy Butler would have to get traded. They would not have the math in order to be able to pull all of it off without having Jimmy Butler's contract off the books. And he legitimately just came out with a statement. It looks like it was posted a few hours ago, but they just posted it up on ESPN saying that his longtime agent came out and said that the organization has maintained they had no intentions of moving Butler in a deal. He said he did not want to get into a constant cycle of responding to this stuff, but he would say that the Warriors, from ownership to the front office to the coaches to the medical staff, have been resolute in their plan to support Jimmy throughout his rehab. That remains true today as I respond to you, to the reporters for Anthony Slater for ESPN. So it's I can't wait for tomorrow because I want to know how this is going to work. Am I excited for it? No. Because remember when we had this conversation, I said if LeBron went to Curry in order to work with Curry in order to get his fifth and get for both of them to get their fifth, it would be more of a detriment to LeBron's legacy than it would be to Curry's. Because Curry did all five of them with the same team as the man.
You got to incur some hate. You
I'm
you
sorry.
hater.
I'm
You
sorry
hater.
if I incur God's wrath. But the same way he would be a half a step above what you would say about Kevin Durant. Hate to say it, but it's the truth. Because you would have to really sit there and think about it. If Kevin Durant wouldn't have went to the Warriors, would Kevin Durant have a ring right now?
Probably not.
No. If LeBron goes to the Warriors with AD, and let's just say they keep Porzingis, and they keep Draymond,
Are Porzingis and Draymond go? I mean, are Porzingis and AD gonna be able to stay healthy?
there's the question. There's the question everybody should be asking.
Like I mean, unless you got a supportive bench where they don't have to spend a lot of time on the court, and then you gonna have to look at AD and go, look, you can't go hard. We need you the whole season, and especially in the playoffs, you can't go hard.
But it's like I just don't. This is the worst case scenario for me. It's the complete worst case scenario for me because I'm a lifelong Lakers fan. So, but I've had to fight that battle with LeBron's on the Lakers. Yeah, he won us the championship, but LeBron's on the Lakers for the longest time. And I've been one of those staunch supporters of the whole claim of we didn't really want him. But he got us a chip. It's been middle of the road for the rest of the time frame. They've had a couple of 2 seeds in the playoffs and stuff like that, but nothing really of substance where we were like, we are title contenders. And with Curry, it's Curry. I don't want nothing to ever take that shine off of what he's done in that sphere of it. But a part of me is like he deserves at least one more legitimate shot before he goes.
But would this be a legitimate shot, seeing that
That's
LeBron would?
the thing. That's the thing. I don't think that it would be a legitimate shot. If they were to come together and they were to win a championship in this climate of the NBA, that would be a kudos to the Golden State front office for taking the swing at it and to Steve Kerr's coaching. Because that right there, to take a whole bunch of 35 pluses, except for AD, and to make it work in order to win a championship, that it would take a whole bunch of basketball IQ, veteran savvy, and high quality coaching.
And then that's the other thing. Would that be a hit to Steve Kerr? Because I mean, how much coaching do you have to do when you got LeBron James and Steph on the same team?
But the other part about that
and,
is, but we always
and will LeBron let him?
Look, I think LeBron would, because he's one of the ones that LeBron respects in the coaching aspect, seeing as he was around it with USA basketball. He put him up there when he had his conversations. He put him up there with Pop.
Yeah, well, and I believe he did the same thing until he got quiet about JJ Redick.
But Redick was never. But there's a difference. Redick was never in that coaching carousel. Redick was never assistant. Versus being with the person that everybody reveres.
Yeah. That part I got is just a simple fact of he ended up. Anybody that say that he didn't end up getting that coaching job because of LeBron, you can bite my nuts.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that shit.
So that's my point. It's no offense to LeBron and his basketball IQ, because obviously he has a basketball IQ, but at the same time he's also made some moves that, whether he wants to admit it or not, or anybody else, especially if you are like a staunch he can do no wrong kind of fan, um he's made some decisions that is part of the reason why he has to make such a, dare I say, desperate move, because this is a desperate move, because it like I said, he proved me right. He proved me right when he went over to the West. I was like, oh yeah, this is and I'm still riding it. I'm still riding the I'm still riding the high of, I wish I could find all the people that called me a hater, from the Lyft riders to the Uber riders to the people at my job that said, that I told, if he went over to the West, it would be different. At best, he wins one. At best, he wins one.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's only got one.
And he's only got one. And he hasn't gotten near a sniff since, and that's exactly how I said it would be. And so this is a desperate move. He my my other part of this is, and that doesn't make it, that takes away from my take of it being desperation. He's probably ready to hang it up, and he wants to go out on a winning note.
Yeah, because I think, and that's why I don't think. But see, my question on that follow-up would be, my question to you on that follow-up would be this: would it be better for LeBron to go to Golden State, or for Curry to come over to LA and have a better legitimate shot?
Bottom line, they're doing. If you're gonna give them kudos for it, you're gonna give them kudos for it. Technically, it's not a good look. because
Yeah.
y'all are two of the best of this era. This would be this would kind of be like if something weird happened, like after that run with Denver, to make sure that he got a ring, uh, your boy Peyton said, you know what, Tom down in Tom's down in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go down there. It's like so you're gonna have two of the best working together. Now, granted, they both can't be on the same field, so there is a little bit of difference. But that
Right.
football IQ being in the same building,
Yeah.
do you honestly believe that there is a chance that they're not going to the Super Bowl? And how
No.
weird would that look?
And that's why I'm saying, like, right now, it's just, I don't, for me with my West Coast bias and looking at the way that the rosters are structured from
Yeah,
there, Curry moving over to the Warriors would make more sense.
you mean
I mean,
Lakers,
not the Curry moving over to the Lakers would make more sense to me
but
because,
then but
be,
then people would bring in the question like, but he left his original team, like you
right,
said.
but I don't think the one thing that we always, how can I put it? This would be more, if we're using a football analogy,
Yeah,
this would be more of Curry going from the Warriors to the Lakers would be more Brady-ish from going from the Patriots to Tampa Bay before he rolled it out for the couple of years
yeah,
in order to get that done.
yeah.
Um, LeBron would be more. I wanted to say Jadeveon Clowney because of the movements,
Hmm.
but I can't. I won't say that because Jadeveon Clowney hasn't won championships for real.
Right.
I can't. It's hard to. It's hard to put LeBron in that thing because it would be his fourth team he won a championship with, and it would be his fourth team. I mean, it would be his. It really would be his fourth team because Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland, LA. It would be his fourth team. He had won. He had won a championship at every team that he had went to. So it's like you can't. It would. LeBron's legacy would be a little bit more tainted than it would be on Curry's leaving going out. If the Warriors sat there and said, you know what, we're nowhere close to winning a championship right now. We want to see you at least deserve one. Let's go ahead and let you go or trade you in order to move that on from that.
Just saw something that no. Um, okay, so yeah, wrap this up in a bow. Um, Either way it goes, I don't foresee it. And nobody can say I don't like the move because, quite frankly, kind of like what happened with uh Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
Eventually, you had to prove who could get it done. Now, if not for Phil, one could question if Kobe would have ever got a sniff of one more, let alone two, because of how everything played out. When Phil wasn't there, Kobe did nothing. We know that Shaq could get it could get something done in the in the right climate
True.
because he went to one in the beginning. Then he went on that run with the Lakers, and then when everything went sour there, he went he went to Miami and went to two more. So
So
you know,
it's gonna be an interesting next 24 hours because I know tomorrow I'll have my messenger up to see what's happening once these talks start kicking off. Um, But if LeBron hasn't really said anything to the Lakers at all, I don't see him going back. They had till 6 o'clock today to pick up Bronny's option. I haven't seen something coming across saying that that's been done yet for it. And if they don't pick up Bronny's option, then the writing's on the wall that LeBron's gone.
They have no reason to pick up his option.
If it's a package deal, which is seemed like it has been for the longest, it's been a package deal. And don't get me wrong, Bronny has gotten better, but not to the point to where he could be a major contributor to an NBA team.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I sent something to the group that I did wanna go over. So I'm glad you brought that up. Let me see if I can find it.
But you can't find it.
No, which is weird because I thought I put it in a link and I thought I sent it to the chat. But it's the one gentleman. He tends to have a lot of takes. Dream, what is it? Dream Sports or Dream Pro or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about that exact situation of what's gonna happen with Bronny, and he thought it was laughable that people thought um Bronny would be lost.
Bronny's career would be over with because Bronny's not going. The Warriors are not going to sign Bronny on a minor league deal or on a two-way just to appease LeBron. So LeBron has to come. LeBron has to realize that if he leaves the Lakers, he's probably technically ending his son's career.
Oh, Jesus, that's a good segue. So, and I thought I sent that to the group too, but did you see the post? Did you see the post where apparently uh uh Pat Riley basically putting his foot down. The only person coming to Miami from Milwaukee is Giannis. That's it. Nobody else.
But Portis was a part of the deal.
No. I'm not talking about Portis. Talking about the bros.
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a part. That's a part of that leverage that they lose when they do that. When they make these moves, you cannot think that your brother is going to be included.
Yeah. So like I said, I thought I put that in the group too. Seemed like I got a lot of stuff missing from the group that I wanted to talk about.
But see, I wouldn't have been surprised if. But see, aren't they under contract with Milwaukee? So they could have been included in the trade.
Pat Riley wasn't having that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So if they knew they weren't going to be included in the trade, they should have. That writing was on the wall. They should have thought about that way before the end when it came to that.
Oh yeah, found it. There it is. A guy named Rick One Ball. Hold on a second. Let me play it.
Giannis's brothers to a contract.
Mm-hmm.
Because he played with his brother for the last 6 seasons. Yes, you played with the the Nazis for the last 6 seasons. He only had a total of 6 minutes played. His job was not to play basketball. His job was to carry your luggage, provide good conversation, and hop off that bench at any sign of trouble. They didn't let LeBron eat cookies on the play. They damn sure ain't gonna let you bring both of your brothers on the play. People always talking about LeBron for the last couple of seasons. Look, if you got your brother on the team, they still making sense of it in the budget. They said that's good. Let's keep him in the budget. You even got Alex on the G League team getting ready to come up to the bus. Boy, if that ain't nepotism, they not letting you have your brothers no more. You're done. They didn't have enough riding your coattail, and they on payroll. They got the nerve to be on payroll riding the plane. They ain't even getting off the bench and they on payroll. Brands don't want 20.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that and I busted out laughing, especially that one part that you started that you started laughing at. And it's that that cracked me up. I mean, there comes a point where, like I said, decisions have to be made and foot has to be put down. Standard has to be set if you want a championship.
Yep.
It
And
just
Pat Riley's been known to want that, to have that build in there.
and he wants a championship. He wants to put down a team that he has confidence in, even if it means he wants to set a standard, even if it means that unfortunately it hurts him in the long run in terms of getting to a championship. Because for the longest time they were making they were throwing shots at him because of the standards he was setting, and it was making it where it was rumored that's why they couldn't get certain free agents because Pat
Yep.
Riley. And it's like, okay, well, you have to set a standard, and if that unfortunately puts you in a bad situation because you won't kiss any and everybody's butt, then I mean, what are we doing? I mean,
And we don't.
the Lakers definitely did some bowing down. How'd that work out for them? Most of the time it does not work out for
It
you.
never works. It never works out. It never works out. That's why you cannot. You have to.
2-year-olds.
A lot of these players and a lot of these players that's about me have to realize that about me normally has never really translated into a championship. How many selfish players that wanted everything to be about them actually came out of it with a ring?
Yeah.
And we talked about it. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Jalen Brunson taking the cut in salary that he could have got in order to give them some more affordability in order for them to be able to go get other players. That's the type of stuff that needs to be out there, needs to be talked about in order to build a competitive roster. I don't need this money from there, especially if I got endorsement deals and everything else. Most of these players' endorsement deals dwarf what their playing contracts are.
All right.
So why would I sit up there and risk my chance of immortality for something that I can't take with me when I'm gone?
All right. So, speaking of stuff that I wanted to talk about, this whole Brandon Ayuk thing. I'm surprised that we haven't we're gonna go over a whole host of topics, basically stuff that I put in the chat that I said I wanted to talk about. I know I don't have you for much longer, so I want to.
We can run a little bit over. We're good. We're good with this one. I
Okay.
think. Go ahead. Let's start with Ayuk.
Yeah. So Brian Mitchell recorded, supposedly Brian Mitchell recorded Richard Sherman, and Richard Sherman was being very blunt about the situation with Brandon Ayuk in San Francisco. So I'm about to play this snippet, and here we go. What?
Yeah, everybody's like, well, what the 49ers do? They disrespected him. And then you got LaShawn McCoy's like, man, we needed somebody to fight the power like this. I don't know, Shady. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that because they paid him $30 million to catch the football. They paid him $30 million to show up to play receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. Not be owned, not be anything. Like it's paid goods and services. You get paid for your services. You have to provide the services. Like you don't get to just get paid and say, I'm not gonna play receiver. I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. You don't get to get paid and then say, hey, I'm not gonna rehab with the team, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. You cannot rehab with the team. Many players have done it. But if you do that, you have to show up 4 days earlier than everybody else, Mitchell. 4 days. If everybody else has to show up on the 23rd, you have to show up on the 19th. You know why? Because the team that invested $30 million a year in you wants to evaluate you and see how your rehab is going. They want to do MRIs. They want to do testing, and they want to do it at a time that 90 other players aren't there. So they can really focus on you. So all the doctors can show you true attention and focus and give you the care and the understanding that you need so that they can truly understand where you're at in your process. Not because they want to just screw Brandon Ayuk. No, you haven't rehabbed here. We have no idea where you are. You haven't updated us at all. So if you could show up 4 days early, which is protocol, standard for anybody who hasn't rehabbed at the facility, and it's perfectly fine. He didn't do that. So they fined him every day he didn't show up, which is 4 days, $50,000 a day. Mitchell, you're great at that. And then he gave him an avenue to void his guarantees. That's what happened. And now, instead of showing up 4 days early and just getting the evaluation,
Nobody likes a prick.
getting the physical, doing everything you have to do, and just, hey, going about your business. If he went about his business, Mitchell, he'd be $30 million richer. They'd be on the hook, even if he didn't want to play for the San Francisco 49ers. He'd be like, hey, I showed up, did what I needed to do, was a pro about it, like, get me out of here, trade me, please. Even if I have to renegotiate and rehash my contract out with the next team, I don't want to be here. I think that could have happened. But when you don't show up, and then everything is a fight, and then you don't rehab, like you put yourself behind the 8 ball, and it's hard to get out of that. And so now we're in this situation where everybody's like, they shouldn't just hold on to him. Well, they're going to do what's best for them. They're going to do what's best for their franchise in terms of
But that's not what's best for their
the
franchise.
opponents they're going to see, how they're going to play this season, cap situation, everything. And at some point, they'll release it. If he shows up and gets reinstated and forces their hand, I'm sure that he'll get released that day. And maybe the Washington Commanders pick him up, and AP, Adam Peters, who was with San Francisco when they drafted BA, is going to pick him up, and it's going to be a great relationship. But once you get into this place, it's hard to get out of this mode. So even if you get to Washington, what happens when the ball doesn't go his way a couple times, when things aren't going well, and hey, they're not targeting, or they doubling it, and he gets frustrated? Like, it can go real fast, and I think that.
Okay, so you pointed out something that he said that you didn't agree with, that I agree with what you said, but there comes a point where, like he said, you drew a line in the sand and you forgot what level that you were truly playing.
But whose fault is that?
You forgot what level you truly were.
But whose fault was that?
To me, both of them.
Right. But to a certain extent, it's just like a parent with a child. The child is only going to get away with what you allow it to, what you allow them to do. As a parent, you set that standard for that, and you didn't nip this in the bud in the beginning when you start seeing the antics with this. This should have been over with Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, that there shouldn't have been a new. To me, there shouldn't have been a new contract. And that's the way that they could have dealt with it. Now, with the level of injuries that they were dealing with and talent-wise, because Deebo was there, but he was injured. So they did need Brandon Ayuk. I get that. But at the same time, do you need everything that comes with it? Now, that's the part where I disagree. But then again, I have spent most of my life being a peon and not a CEO. So it's easy for me to look at this situation and go and make it sound simple. I know it's not. Because like I said, they had Deebo at the time, but he had injury issues. Obviously, their tight end has injury issues.
Right.
And out of everybody that they had, he stayed injured the least. So I get that that probably played into why they gave him the contract.
And
Because
see, and this is where, like I've said before, the diva wide receivers, you can't have multiple on the same team. You can't have an old diva around a rookie in there, because then it starts rubbing off.
yeah,
And you can't let things fester behind the scenes to where it can become a cancer or a distraction to the team. IU throughout everything this past season, was a distraction to the team. And let's be real, as many injuries that they had out there this season, with Kittle tearing his Achilles, uh, uh, CMC being hurt off and on, Purdy being hurt, you were signed to be their number one receiver. And you played the game and you played around the entire freaking season. So what makes you think that you have any grounds to feel like you can control any narrative here? There is none. You cost the team a year of their possible window of winning a championship because of your pettiness.
and then in turn, they got petty, which is why
Right. And they went right back and they got
he's still with the team because, well, we done paid you this money 9 times out of 10. Everybody see what's going on, and they're willing, even if they're willing to take you, they're not gonna want to take on that contract. So then that puts them in a position where it's like, no matter how much they want to move him, even if John Lynch, I can envision John Lynch being like, we ain't got time for this, let's move him. Well, we can't, because nobody wants to deal with the full amount of that contract.
right. So cut him.
Yeah, but if you cut them, then basically you're taking a financial hit without getting anything in return, which would mean, which I could see why they don't want to do that either. And it's like, and then let you go somewhere where you want to go. Oh, no, 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 no. Like I said, this is the petty part. We'll let you go, but don't think, oh, the Commanders and a coach that you used to play, that was basically here when you got drafted. You go over there. Ha ha, hell.
But and then the other part that's crazy though is Washington wanting to bring him over.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Why would you bring, that's like sitting up there walking up to somebody with cancer and say, I like some of that. Let me bring that over here and put it in me.
But people do it. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, but what are you gaining? That's the thing.
Maybe he'll get over here with us and everything will be cool. I mean, we got a guy that he used to vibe with, so he'll get over here and everything will be okay. The numbers ain't in your favor, man.
No. And that's why I'm like, it doesn't. As soon as they said Washington, I was like, of all teams, you just got over the issue, the contract issue with your star wide receiver to bring him into the fold. Now you're gonna bring in another receiver and try to make that work with him. No. It's just this is where the stupidity and the opportunities kind of just like go left and right with it. It just doesn't.
All right. So what's next? Okay, there's a reason. I'm gonna go into the, actually, let's do this one first. Let's see. I got this off for Fully Loaded, the podcast.
I'll tell you the difference between this generation of athletes and the last two generations of athletes. It's stamina, right? They have more skill, but less stamina. Now, stamina is the ability to create speed and power and sustain it. And that's why you see all the injuries, because the way they train, the athlete, the regimen, getting further and further away from Olympic lifting, training the whole body. I'll tell you the difference between this generation of athletes and the last.
That was Chris Carter on the podcast. Thoughts?
He's not lying. I'm sorry. And I never wanted to be that person that would sit up there and start pounding their chest back in my day. But it's the truth. Right now, I'll give you an example. We're about to hit the first week of July, right?
Yeah.
If I was playing high school football, and I'm taking it back, I'm taking it back 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
We would have been doing conditionings every Monday, Wednesday, and either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesdays, Thursdays Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays in rotation since the middle of June.
Right.
Two-a-days could not start until a month before the football season. So two-a-days would start possibly around the end of July. Right? Now, remember, I'm saying two-a-days. So at the school at 7 o'clock, on the bus by 7:30, practice start at 8 o'clock, practice goes until 11 o'clock. We stop, take a lunch break, refuel break. We back on the bus by 12:30. We out on the field at 1. We dismissed by 2. We off the field by 3. We dismissed by 3:30. Mm-hmm. That was the routine. Now, you want to know where my school practiced at?
Where?
You know the orphanage that's on Reading Road, right next to Ronald Reagan? I mean, not Ronald Reagan, right next to the Norwood Lateral?
I believe so.
There was a field that's behind there. That's where we had our two-a-days. Think about that. Two-a-days in July, right next to the Norwood Lateral.
Mm-hmm.
So all the smog, all the particulates, everything. And I'm not saying this was a made-up field. They had to drill the hole, put our goalpost in there, make sure our goalpost was anchored down in there. This was not an already set-up field. And we're out there for two-a-days. These kids now, depending on how hot it is, may have pads on in the morning when it's least hot. And it's unpadded walkthroughs and 7-on-7 drills with the linemen practicing their drills off to the side. The second part. If they're even doing two-a-days, it might just be one practice in the middle of the day for 3.5 to 4 hours. But then they get out there and they on the field and they don't know the plays. They don't know the repetitions. They ain't studying the playbooks. Oh, the playbooks are on tablets. So they don't know what their setups is. Do you know how they get most of their setups for the offense? The 7-on-7 drills or the 7-on-7 camps that they have in there. Not full camps, 7-on-7s. So there's no real push for weight training. There's no real push for unless they are a star athlete for the health and the nutrient regimens in order to make it work. It's pretty much, all right, y'all know what y'all got to do going out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the players stay in shape during their off seasons? They play football, they play basketball, or they play wrestling during the winter. They play baseball or they run track during the spring, and then they circle back around and start doing conditioning during the summer to go right back into football in the fall. And if they're lucky, because Planet Fitness nowadays has it to where teenagers can work out during the summer for free, they get a free pass. They go into Planet Fitness in their all time to go ahead and get their work in outside of there.
Mm-hmm.
So when he says that none of these kids is like legitimately doing the work and everything else for it, and this is across any of the sports, he's not lying. Everything has been made to how to be leaner, faster, quicker, more explosive. But a lot of people don't realize is that when you talk about explosive is something going real fast out the gate. It's shattering. It's bursting in there for it. But the byproduct of that is destruction. It's shockwaves. It's damaging. So yes, you can build somebody to be that explosive, but how many times can they be that explosive if they haven't built something firm for it to be explosive against? I would love to have somebody that was playing football that could run a 40-yard dash and be stocky enough to run you over in the line. But you know it's not going to be able to happen most times.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, I would, in a GM mind state, if I had a running back that could run a 4.3 40 and he could squat 400 pounds, I'm going to take him over the 4.2 scat back that can only squat 175, which is his weight. Because you go through a line and you running to Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's going to thump you and you're going to fall away.
Your story. So yeah, we've talked about this. Moreover, I've questioned it for years. Even before the podcast, me and you have talked about this. So again, when from someone that has played on that level basically says what I have been screaming, I appreciate it because it does tell me that despite me not playing on that level, be the dead horse moment, um I'm clearly paying attention to the players that were there, what they talk about, and even though I don't have as much um in the trenches experience, I still paid attention to what I saw and what I observed. Just like when I watch games, I watch games. I'm a detail person. I watch games differently. That's why when people scream about the refs, I had that conversation with them when I go, well, I mean, let's be honest. There was issues with there was issues with refereeing on both sides because of the fact that if you actually sit back and watch the game and you watch different parts of the line and you watch the secondary, they're breaking the rules as soon as the ball is hyped.
Yeah.
And the refs can't call every single time, because if they called it every single time, then people would be mad because they eventually want to go home.
Right.
And they got to get up for work, or the kids got to get up for school, or whatever else they got planned or whatever, right? So there comes a time what happened to holding people accountable to do their job correctly? To where
True.
you're not getting called as much. And this basketball, baseball, whatever sport, you know what's gonna get called. How about covering your butt and working on doing your job without doing things that are going to get you in trouble, so to speak. Which, if you're getting a penalty, the team that's the equivalent of your team getting in trouble, and you got to deal with the consequences of that. And that opens up the door to the reason why you lost that nobody will want to talk about because they love you so much.
Yep.
And that, ooh, God, speaking of that, that's a perfect segue. Speaking of is what should be allowed to be talked about based upon your fame. I saw this Bad News Browns clip of, speaking of Shady. Shady was on the show with Emmanuel, and you'll know who they were talking about as the clip finishes.
Joy.
But no.
Darn. She was on an interview with Michael Irvin. I saw talking about regrets.
A guy that hit so many heights and does so many great things. Yep. Why do you want negativity in his story? I don't want negativity. If he had no negativity, I would want every part of his story to be told. If he did negativity, why do you want that in there? Because that is a part of his story. We are all humans. We are all flawed. Okay. Why would you not want to tell? Let me ask you, Shady. Why do you want parts of the story left out? Because he's a role model. He is a figure. He's the person that people look up to. Why we gotta? He was also accused of child molestation. But there's people out here that's part of his. There's people out here that's working. Like, I don't know people in the back, but they past. I don't know your past. I don't know his past. Yeah. Because y'all not famous. I'm not gonna know that. There's famous people. You gonna know everything about them. And I feel like we separated. Because there's some people I will never know what they did. You know what I mean? Behind closed doors. For a guy that hit so many heights and doesn't.
Obviously, you know who they were talking about.
But why?
So the question was should the things that they did wrong, should things that a person did wrong be spoken of when you're talking about their life or you're talking about their career? So obviously they were talking about Michael Jackson. But this brings up an interesting point because everybody's always on Malika Andrews because of the way that she does things. And
I got one that'll trump both of them. I got one that'll trump both of them. You heard about what happened with Buffalo, didn't you?
no,
Buffalo opened the new stadium last week, right?
yeah,
You know who is nowhere to be found on anything inside that new stadium?
no.
Orenthal James Simpson.
Oh, well, I should have guessed that, but
He's not on anything in there. When they tore down the old Bill Stadium, any ties to him to that franchise went down with it.
yeah.
So when that question comes into play, that is a dangerous precedent that you would want to set. And I'm going to tell you why. Nobody on this earth has walked a perfect path.
Mm-hmm.
If we are going to restrict things that people have done that they have earned because of misdeeds that they've done in their life, or alleged misdeeds that they've done in their life, then a lot of records, public and private, would not be able to be strong, be on there in this world right now. We cannot pick and choose the battles that they have And I know that they're going to, because in this day and age where it's got to be an opinion and everything else is fine. And I get that. But let's call a spade a spade. Does Shady McCoy have any reason why he can even kind of talk? Because I could have swore he had a couple of issues when he was in the league. And Acho really, really can't talk.
Well, I didn't watch the whole show, but during that clip, you clearly you see him on the clip, but he was
Right.
quiet.
Right.
But
He
he
can't
was
say nothing.
quiet.
Because here's the thing. You cannot, because once you start going down, once you start pointing at your finger at one person about their situation with that, you got another 3 fingers pointing back at you.
Mm.
And you have to figure out, do I want to answer those 3 fingers that's pointing back at me? Because we live in a day and age to where data is out there. If somebody wants to dig and find it, they can.
Mm-hmm.
And you set yourselves up to be where you can be targeted when you are in that space for it. That's why a lot of the BS, the talking, the back and forth, there are a lot of these proponents on these podcasts and everything else, when they being accusatory and everything else, when it comes down to it, if this is an investigative reporter or something like that, they gonna make the calls. They gonna find out what they need to. Don't let them get TMZ involved. They really gonna find out what's going on. So when you have that debate, everybody has a debate about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, and let's call a spade a spade. You put Michael Jackson, never convicted. It's always been civil cases. Then you got R. Kelly, who's been convicted in jail. Then you got Puffy, who's been convicted in jail. All for similar acts. But at the end of the day, you hear more of a clamor about Michael, where you got more people coming out saying that Michael didn't versus Michael did, than you have on R. Kelly's side trying to condone what he did, or Puffy's side trying to condone what he did.
Well. Unfortunately, when you have video,
right, and that's the thing. So we can't. We. But the problem with that is that will any of us ever know the exact truth? No. So why should we be the ones to judge?
The reason why I found this significant is because this, unfortunately, especially in our community, this is how people have been rolling the whole time. This is why people look at Stephen A and say he against he against black people, because if he brings up anything other than what they do good, oh man, you just doing the white man work for him. Like, so they didn't do what they did. Well, yeah, but why you got to talk about it though? This is
What are we supposed to do?
This is what I don't. That's what I don't like about it. But then you want to get mad and try to put a situation like bringing up Josh Giddey. You think ESPN is finna get sued just because Josh Giddey is white and you want there to be equality? Huh?
No, and see, and that's the question.
There's
questions.
a difference,
right? And that's what they fail to realize.
There's lawyers that basically said, if y'all speak any further about this, we're about to make y'all life interesting.
Right, and that's what
Disney owns. ESPN used to be their own thing, and now Disney owns it. So just like Fluffy admitted, he admitted during one of his shows. I gotta be careful what I do. Disney don't play. No. That's why we'll never see another Pirate of the Caribbean, because even though Johnny Depp proved himself innocent,
They can't risk
They
the
had
PR nightmare.
they had been talking to him about how he lives his life and the fact that it's so out in the open. Everybody know that he drinks and he parties. You can't get down like that when Disney is paying your check. Because your image, no matter what you do, and it's in your personal time, you are representing Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the situation we talked about with Adrian Peterson, and he couldn't understand why even though Minnesota suspended him, he still had to serve a suspension from the NFL. It was different. The details are different. They didn't suspend you because of what you did. They suspended you because I believe the sponsors were Sheraton Hotels said if he stay on the team, we're pulling our money. They looked up and said, oh, Adrian, we love you. You got to go. And then when everything officially went down in the courts, then the NFL said, yeah, we'll see you after your suspension. Details. Is it fair? I can, even if I agree with you that it's not fair, you know how this world works. And that's the main reason why you should watch what you do. And as much as possible, you should stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that look like trouble, that look like you gonna give them the fuel to put a fire on what you're doing. It don't matter that you want to live your life how you want to live it. It don't matter that you want to feel like, well, I don't want to be controlled. Well, if you don't want to be controlled, then you need to step out of the limelight, bro. Because as long as you work for a Disney, as long as you work for an NFL, this ain't like a regular job. It sounds like you need to go and get a regular job. Because
Yep.
McDonald's ain't gonna put it down on you like that, but they ain't gonna pay you like the NFL. They ain't gonna pay you like Disney either.
No. And that's why that opens up to where it becomes you cannot sit there and think that you can play that game with these larger companies because you're expendable no matter what. They're going to do whatever it takes to save their billion-dollar industry for your $100,000 ass.
Yeah.
It's never going to fail with that one. So
All right.
yeah, that's just stupid.
Yeah. So and plus I never like that thing. The reason why I don't like Shady's argument is because as soon as somebody on the other side of the color spectrum get in trouble, you want the book thrown at them. But when it's one of us, you want leniency. If you don't want leniency all the time, then don't want leniency at all. You open up the door to an argument that you don't need to have. That's why you keep it straight. This is what it is. You keep it straight, you keep it simple. This is how I feel about that one. This is how I feel about that one. It diminishes people's ability to argue you and feel like you're biased.
Right. And that bias is what they have to fix.
Yeah.
In order to make sure
the people in power are not gonna fix it because I mean, what are you gonna do to them? There's nothing you could do to them.
Yeah. And it's like it's crazy now looking at all of this and sitting there and thinking to yourself like there's no way why a lot of these players these players have started to feel like they're bigger than the industry or their name is bigger than the industry until they realize that the industry is going to go on long after they quit playing.
And that at the end of the day, they're only gonna let you they're only that whole bravado that you have, it's only gonna go so far until you cross the wrong person, until you do the one thing that you think, or you do one thing too many and they go, okay, we can't protect you anymore. or we're not gonna protect you anymore because now this is starting to make the overall brand look bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go down. You can go down, you can go down hard, and you're gonna go by yourself.
Right. And it's going to be a long, dramatic collapse on your own because you chose to do it that way instead of just not even adherent. It's just being just being natural with it. Just don't even try to do too much. And I don't. That gets frustrating when it comes to this because it's like, what more examples do you need out there for you to keep yourself from doing the things that you do? What other ones? What other ones do you need? And most of them is still trying to find reasons to where they're trying to condone their actions, and there's no way of condoning it. And then once the league sees you're a detriment, you're gone. Then what? Oh, I didn't deserve this, but you knew. Ain't no
You
job gonna keep somebody that knowingly just disrupts what they do, just because the simple fact of, well, they know I'm gonna make it up. No,
okay? Now I have what I feel are some really good ones. Some
okay,
really, really, really good ones. Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay, let's see how much time we have in the okay, 7 quarterbacks, 6 seats. Who gets left out? Here are
okay.
your choices. Herbert, Burrow, Daniels, Goff, May, Hurts, Williams. Seven
Dan,
quarterbacks, 6 seats.
Daniels. Because Daniels, here's the reason why I said Daniels so quickly. Daniels was an unknown commodity that first season, and teams didn't know how to plan for him. You saw the drop off from season 1 to season 2 before he got hurt and was down for the rest of the season. They went from being a NFC championship team to 5-11.
Mhm.
So Daniels would be 7. Williams would be 6 because he has to prove it consistently. May would be 5th. Herbert would be 4th. Goff would be 3rd. Burrow would be 2. And who was the other one that I missed?
Hurts.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. Mhm.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Goff 1, Hurts 2, Burrow 3, um, and then Herbert 4.
Ooh, so you got the champion number 2. Okay.
Because right, wrong, or indifferent, golf was golf's been a little bit more consistent with the play.
Fair.
So
That's
that's why. Now, will that ranking change this season? Yep. Almost definitely.
okay. Now, here's another one. Mine, who would I set out? Hmm. I actually would go with Williams and then make Daniels 6th. Either Daniels or May. I could be flexible with either one, and either one of them being 6 because while they did both do something that nobody was expecting and taking their team as far as they did, and um even Colin Cowherd talked about what was going to be interesting about Williams was they had a soft middle of the schedule
Right.
and what was going to happen with that. And the soft schedule was truly a soft schedule, and they took advantage of it. So,
Right.
so to me, he took advantage of it. So to me, that's the equivalent of when people would be the same thing with Murray. They would sit up there and he would play a soft part of the schedule and he looked lights out, but everybody it's like everybody got amnesia or got dementia or something and forgot that every time they played the defenses within the division or the defenses within the conference or the other conference, the teams with the better defenses, Jaden Daniels would be doing a lot of standing on the sideline, arms folded with attitude as they
Mm-hmm.
lose again.
Yep.
Now is he a talent? Yeah, when
Oh
he's
yeah,
not,
he's definitely a talent.
he's a talent, but the details are important. Like who was he playing? And it was like who was he playing? Who were they playing? It's like, well, you can say that about everybody. You're not wrong. But when you got talent and you look like you a Super Bowl, when you spend most of your career looking like you a Super Bowl quarterback against the teams that's still trying to figure it out, but then the teams that are an actual challenge, you can't get out your own way. You can't bust a grape. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call a spade. And I don't care if it's Drake May. I don't care if it's Kyler Murray. I don't care who it is. I call a spade a spade. I don't care if it's Josh Allen.
Right. But see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not when they really think about it, it's not it can't be to where Daniels, when it came down to that stuff, realistically, Daniels was a product of a great a great a great way that the structure of a season lined out.
And that offensive line, I
Did their
question
job.
the offensive line the first year, then there was some changes, and then the injury bug ate them alive.
Yes, it did.
And I'm sorry, I don't care who it is. And matter of fact, I called that out at the beginning of the season. I said I need to know seeing that the line has made some changes. I need to know what that line's going to look like before I tell
Yeah.
you what Jaden Daniels is going to do. Because that line did something that most big rookie quarterbacks would love to have. That's why people fell for the okey doke to a certain extent with Mr. Mr. Houston quarterback.
Oh, with why am I trying to blank?
I know, right?
CJ Stroud.
Yeah. And he looked great his
Yeah.
first year. He was another one that looked great his first year. And like, okay, let's see what that line look like next year.
But see,
Okay.
I'm about to tip you off on one of the things that when it comes down to fantasy football that has propelled me to being good at it every single year. I watch college.
Mm-hmm.
If they are a good quarterback or a good player in a pro scheme in
Mm-hmm.
college, I'll pick them second, third, fourth round in the draft during there. Why? Because your footage against college is different than your footage against pros. And also, the pros have never played against you. So if your foot speed is faster than what they think they are, they might know what their pursuits and their angles are, but you might get there quicker. That's something that they haven't got used to yet. Your arm strength, they haven't got used to. They don't know how that ball comes off your hand, no matter how much film study that you do. There's a difference between being film study and then watching you in real life playing it.
Yeah.
Why you see a lot of rookies come into the league and start doing more and more right off the bat than you do their second and their third years. The ones that do it consistently for their second and their third years are the ones that end up getting those contracts that are guaranteed and they end up being a boost to it. That's what you do. That's what happens when you see a when you saw Burrow when that second year when he took him to the Super Bowl. That's why he got paid. That's why you saw and a lesser extent, that's why you saw Justin Herbert get paid for it. You see a lot of those quarterbacks get out of that, they get that extension because if they haven't figured you out for real within 2 seasons for it, that means you're a talent. If they can figure you out within your first 2 years to where your numbers drop precipitously, then that means that you're not doing something that's outside the norm that's going to make it to where you become a star. And in this league, your biggest thing is getting from your rookie contract to your second contract. If you can't make it to your second contract, you out the league. Somebody else is in your spot, or you meandering as a position player going over different places and being a career backup or something like that. So this is Daniel's telltale year. Does he bounce back, or does it stay in this? He has to win more than 7 games this season in order for it to be a bounce back season. Him in Washington. If they don't win 7, it's going to be ugly.
And you notice that it's telling that is definitely telling that I'm pretty sure that the Super Bowls, whether it was an appearance or a loss, is the reason why Jalen was in there. Because you notice CJ Stroud wasn't in there.
Yeah. But CJ Stroud's not a top 10 quarterback. That's something that we've always said that the only reason why, let's be real, the only reason why Houston made the playoffs last year because their defense was outstanding.
All right. Now you should like this one.
Okay.
It says top 10 international NBA players. Tell me what you think of this. Number
top
one,
10 international.
Yep, top 10 international players. Number 1, Hakeem.
Shea. Oh, they talking about all time?
Yeah.
Hakeem 1.
Nikola.
Jokic is 2.
Dirk 3. Paul Gasol was
All
4.
Really?
According to whoever posted this in this group that I took this out of, yep. Paul was 4. Giannis is 5. Tony is 6.
No.
Tony is 6. Tony Parker.
Who?
Parker.
Okay. I'm about to say Kukoc. I'm about to say what?
No. Steve Nash is 7. Manu is 8. Luca is 9. Yao is 10. Agreed. Disagree. Anything you would switch around? Anything you would change?
Who was 8, 9, and 10?
8, 9, and 10 was Manu, Luca, and Yao.
No, I wouldn't. Powell and Giannis, I would flip. And here's the reason why. Giannis won that championship as being the man. Powell won those 2 championships as being the Robin to Kobe's Batman. So if you're going by rings, yeah, I would do that, but you gotta go by how they got the rings in there for it. Was he a contributor? Yes, but he was not the man. It was Kobe's team, and his brother was on there with him. So that's how I would look at that one.
Okay. Other than that,
it seems like it was cool. It was a cool list.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much argument. I could see the argument about Giannis being above Powell. I was surprised he was up that high, especially over Tony, and because even as a contributing player, I don't feel he was the level of like Tony Parker and Manu. The way they did it. So plus he had to deal with Kobe, and Kobe had to understand that it's like Kobe, in order for them to contribute, you do have to let them in the game by making sure that they get the ball.
Right. But the other part about that though, And you know what? A thought came across to me after the past couple of weeks or so, because they've been showing replays of the Last Dance.
Okay.
I want them to go through and do a similar thing for the Lakers during the Kobe years. And have people honestly tell their stories, because you hear all the different groups of stories that comes out of there from there. But
Mm-hmm.
the one story that CNN did was okay, but I want more of a story about how conducive all that was, because when you really get down to it, and I've read the books on the Mamba mentality and everything else with it, a lot of stuff that you hear is a lot of stuff that we predicate that's missing. And a lot of the stars that you hear praise him about that stuff is praising him because he changed their work habits because of what they saw. When he would sit up there and tell them honestly, hey, yo, they gotta go because they would rather go out and go party than try to perfect their craft. And he's trying to work and build championships. That's no different. The only difference between him and Jordan in that instance was Jordan liked to go out and have a cigar and have a drink and everything else. But then Jordan came back and he still put in the work.
Right.
Kobe was live, eat, breathe, sleep. Who? Besides his wife and his kids.
Yeah.
Well, besides his kids, his wife was after everything that happened in Colorado.
Right.
But with that being said, even with that, when they talk about the Olympics, when they were all out enjoying the area around there, and they come back in, and he's walking out of the thing like, where y'all coming from? They're like, we coming from being out. He's like, where you coming from? He's like, from being in the gym for the past 3 hours.
Yeah, and Allen Iverson told an Olympic story where he was coming in at 4 in the morning, and Kobe was headed to the gym at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
but that's where it's like it that's why it's like you don't know what we don't know the particulars, and I think that would be a great story to have. Powell goes down there for it, to have Phil talk about the different things, get Metal
Phil
Pearl.
Phil
Right.
Phil talked about some of it, and Kobe dismissed it. Remember, because after him and Kobe got put out of there, he came out with that book. I actually have it, and the reporters asked him what they thought about what some of the stuff that Phil said in the book, and he kind of just dismissed it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even though I wasn't in the locker room,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I saw a lot of the stuff before I read, because people have a way of coming off, and a lot of stuff like Dale Harris. Dale Harris was not the greatest coach of greatest coaches, but
No.
he was a pretty good coach. And for him to basically get put out, like everybody got put out if Kobe didn't like him. Dale Harris had to go. Your boy Van Exel had to go because him and Kobe didn't see eye to eye, and it's like, okay. Then eventually Eddie George had to go. It's like, okay, all right, I see it. And but I can agree that what I also saw at the same time, I did see that hunger. I did see that want to win. But
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, in terms of like being given power, I talked about it with Kobe. People gave I talked about it with LeBron. You giving the young man too much power. He ain't even made it to the league yet, and you calling him the king of the NBA? You calling him King James? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't even touched the court yet.
No, they don't. They ain't care about that.
I was like, okay, all right. Let me see it. That song by UGK. Let me see it. Let me see it. You know, um, yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, uh, yeah. Now, this the last one.
Sure.
It says, which squad are you choosing? Team one is Steph, Harden, Pippen, Duncan, Olajuwon. Team two, Magic, Kobe, Kawhi, Bird, Jokic. Team three, Westbrook, Allen Iverson, LeBron, Dirk, Shaq. Team four, Doncic, Dwayne Wade, Durant, uh, Garnett, and Kareem.
Who was team one?
Steph, Harden, Pippen, Duncan, Olajuwon.
One. One. Because with Duncan and Olajuwon, you're gonna get rebounding, and you're gonna get blocks. You got Harden and Curry shooting threes, and then you got Pippen running the point as the point forward. So all he gonna be doing is distributing to the to two guards on the wings in order to get that.
And contributing to the
And
defensive side of the
contribute to the
ball.
defense and
Yeah,
the
that's
rebounding. Because if you really think about it, team two was who?
Magic, Kobe, Kawhi, Bird, and Jokic.
Okay, so Jokic is not really known for his defense.
Right.
Bird okay on his defense.
Yeah.
Kawhi defensive, but not your scoring. Your scoring would be he would be the least out of the five that you would rely on scoring. Kobe would be Kobe, and then Magic. It depends on what era Magic, the beginning or the end. Either way, he'll still be
Well,
a.
I mean,
If it's in his prime, he still would be a primary distributor and can play all five positions. So
the
it
first
would
two
be
teams is nasty.
right.
For the
The,
record, the first two teams is nasty.
right, but when you really think about it, if they're playing modern rules, team one wins that hands down. If they're playing old school rules, team two would give team one a run for their money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And, and
But
then
because when it comes to distributing Bird and Magic on the same team, bro, that's nasty.
right, the two
I
they can't stand each other.
it was that competitive spirit mainly because like what once they retired, all of a sudden you saw them in commercials together. You saw them you would see them places and they be laughing and joking with each other about how competitive they used to be against each other. And you know, so it was um that's what it was. But yeah, I as talented as all the teams is, and oh, it was hard because it's like especially when you got team four. The thing I didn't like about what they did with team one was having Harden there. It would have been easier for me to pick team one if they had put like either Kobe or Dwayne Wade there.
Yeah, Harden kind of threw it
If
off.
yeah, it just because then I'm gonna wonder how much trouble they're gonna be in when the playoffs hit.
Yep.
And so yeah. Um and then Westbrook, how would him and Allen coexist? They both ball dominant. And then you got LeBron there, he ball dominant. And Shaq got to have the ball. The only one on the team that don't really need the ball, but he can move around and give you problems is Dirk.
True.
And then let's see here, team four. Uh Doncic, Doncic and Durant ball dominant. The other three, well, Wade, I don't know. Because
Wade,
wasn't he the point guard?
no, Wade was the two.
Okay.
See, Doncic would be the one, and
Mm,
that's not.
mm. And then there's he would hurt you on defense, where where it's been proven that I guess Wade and Garnett and Jabbar would make up for that to potentially make them a problem. Because remember, they already had either Lively or Washington, and they brought in or Gafford, and then they already had Gafford. Then they brought in Lively and Washington, and then that made the defense gel, which made up for the lack of defense from Doncic, and they went to a championship. Didn't win, but they made it. So, yeah, I'm. Uh, even though it pains me not to pick a team with Jabbar on it and Garnett, it I would definitely be more than likely team one. If I didn't pick team one, it would definitely be team two. Because I don't think between Bird and Magic and the passes that they would do
Uh-huh.
to and everybody's a scorer. That would just be you you'd have a long day trying to stop that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, this that like I said, this was interesting. I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, this is they are getting better because they
Yeah.
are making it harder on me. They're
They're making
making
it
it
harder for the choices, but it's that one was more along the lines of where you sit there and be like, yeah, that first team would just be crazy,
yeah. And
especially in this day and age. That first team would be Pippen down the lane. Up,
yeah.
he gets triple team, kicks it out to Curry for three, kicks it out, up, step back, Harden, three. Like,
And
damn,
then
for real.
you know that one-legged jumper bank shot. Nobody was stopping that
Yep.
when Duncan first got in. The bank shot from about it was like Duncan started his career playing around the world. You remember that game
Yeah.
around the world? Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like that's how he practiced that shot and got so good at it. He played around the world, got good at the back shot. You know when you get up to that one point around the free throw line, that shot is really difficult to make straight in, so you use it as a bank shot. I felt like that's what he did.
Yeah.
So, all right. Start to wrap this up a little bit. Let's see if I got anything else. Oh, yeah, we were talking about it over the weekend. Um I'm getting this from Field Flicks. The cornerback Terrion Arnold faces
Oh,
life.
he got cut.
So I'm gonna take some time. It says cornerback Terrion Arnold is sitting in a Florida jail without bond, accused of being a primary conspirator in a kidnapping and robbery that Tampa police said unfolded over several hours. And in early February, Arnold turned himself in on Wednesday night. He is facing 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of armed robbery, all felonies that carry a maximum of life in prison, according to reporting from CBS Sports, ESPN, and NFL.com. The case is being filed in Hillsborough State Attorney's Office. Let's see here. What police say happened. So according to Tampa Bay,
Oh, this is interesting.
the incident traces back to property that was stolen from an Airbnb Arnold rented in Largo in early February. Investigators say Arnold believes certain individuals were responsible for that theft, even though police later determined those people had no involvement. On February 3rd, police say Arnold and a co-conspirator named Bokai Hilton directed two women to contact one of the eventual victims and lure him to an apartment in Tampa Bay. When the victims arrived around midnight on February 4th, two men who had been hiding in a closet allegedly jumped out, grabbed them at gunpoint, and attacked them, per detailed account provided by Tampa police, reported by My Sports Update. Police say the attack was streamed.
Streamed? Please don't tell me you just said streamed.
Yeah. Police say the attack was streamed live by Arnold Hilton and another individual while they were traveling toward the apartment. A group chat was also active during the incident, and investigators say Arnold and Hilton issued directions through the chat while the assault was going on. About an hour into the incident, police say Arnold arrived at the apartment, directed others to go inside while the robbery was still in progress. Property was stolen from the victims at roughly 1:40 a.m. The victims were escorted out at gunpoint and forced into their own vehicle. Arnold then left the scene with the others in his car. The victims later reported everything to Tampa police and identified the suspects. Detectives executed search warrants and made multiple arrests over the following weeks, with Arnold being the last to turn himself in. The reaction. ESPN's Adam Schefter noted the gravity of the charges, writing that Arnold was arrested on Wednesday on 8 felony counts that carry a possible life sentence. My Sports Update, which first published a detailed breakdown of the police account, described the full story as stunning, noting that Arnold is identified by investigators as the primary conspirator in the alleged robbery kidnapping plot. According to Yahoo Sports, Arnold is currently being held without bond.
Yep.
So we were talking about this earlier. What level of power do you have?
What level of stupidity do you have?
Well, I mean, that usually that usually comes into play, but what level of power do you actually have? Now, you gonna mean to tell me that you didn't hear about what happened to OJ when OJ pulled this? Remember? He went into a hotel with cameras and went to the guy's hotel room. He didn't kidnap him, although technically he did, because I believe he didn't let him leave the hotel room, but to get his memorabilia back. What are we doing?
I don't know what.
And even if I get and understand, because part of the thing that plagues me when it comes to what's going on in my head is making people pay for what I think that they did. But you are basically costing yourself not only your freedom,
He cost himself his career.
your career is done.
Yeah.
Maybe you play in the CFL. Maybe you play in the UFL, depending on, because We've talked about this. Not sure if everybody's noticing it, but the way they're constructing these contracts, these owners are getting the power back.
That's why he got cut. He
They're-
still was on his rookie deal.
Yeah, they're taking the power back. So it's going to be harder for you to get the big money. It's going to be harder for you to maintain your job. And they're going to let you be who you want to be, especially if they know where it's going to end you up.
Yep.
I keep telling people, I keep saying it, I keep screaming it. And this is another reason why I need to create the other podcast so that we can go over to the more serious conversations, because I want to have more serious conversations. The world, the way it works now, they are letting you be who you want to be and letting you stop yourself while blaming everybody and their
Everybody else.
mama, and not seeing that one of the main conspirator is you. So yeah, we gonna legalize.
And this,
Yeah, we gonna be Oregon and we gonna legalize everything, and then allegedly be spending the years after asking for a state of emergency because everything's gone to crap, allegedly.
but this is where, in all fairness, like in all fairness to this, my biggest thing is that why did y'all think y'all was gonna get away with it and y'all was live streaming it? Why? Like, listen, for goodness sake, why? Because my thought, realistically, that came in my head was that you're starting to see where people at funerals are getting wanded or being asked before the funeral, don't wear the meta glasses. Don't wear anything on your body that's going to be able to record the ceremony. You can't trust anybody. You see more people pulling out their cell phones recording stuff when things is happening than you do calling for help.
Yeah.
So
I was here. I witnessed it.
I seen it. I seen it with my own eyes. They was ratchet. But at the same instance, it's like, why would you even do this? Why would you even set yourself up for this failure? Because now, his attorney's been saying, "Oh, it's misconstrued. He was not a part of this for real. They're just trying to throw him under the bus because to save their own selves."
He live streamed it.
That part was left out.
This part, that's that thing that makes people hate lawyers. It's like, even if I get what your job is, there are certain situations where the last thing you should do is get in front of a camera. Don't get in front of a camera. Don't record nothing. The only time that you should speak is in the courtroom when you are actually doing your job, because it makes you look like a person that you may not actually be.
Yeah.
This calls into question accountability. And this is why I say that there's levels to this that people have to understand. Please understand and remember, your level of accountability has to be higher. Why? Because at the end of the day, there are going to be other people that can get away with lack of accountability partially because of that's just how the world works. They're going to be able to get away with it. You can count on not being able to get away with it. That's the way you should look at it. Like 9 times out of 10, I don't care how much money I have, 9 times out of 10, I ain't going to get away with this. So there ain't no point in doing it. I get, and I'm saying this as a human that even personally, I can account. I have done some dumb things. there was a situation that I laugh about now, but I don't. But even inside, as I think about the story, I laugh about the story. But that story could have ended bad for me involving the cops.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, it didn't.
And there's so many of those opportunities that have happened to people to where they can sit there and they can say, like, I could have been in that situation. That could have been me in there, but the tables are turned and I'm thankful for it. And then there's other situations to where you have people that was like, shoot, I got away with it. Let me do it again.
Right.
And with his case, it just was when I saw that he got cut today, I was like, what did you expect? What did you expect? He did his dirt, he did what he wasn't supposed to do, he got caught. Now he's got to deal with the repercussions of it because now you don't have that money coming in. So now what is your family gonna do about if you didn't invest that money or you didn't spend it or it wasn't wrapped up in this whole thing that you was doing? Now you broke. Because in order to get the best lawyers to try to get you off of a life sentence case,
Where you live streamed it. So good luck. The one reason I would love to be in that courtroom is I would love to see how his lawyer's gonna spin that. Like how are you gonna spin this
they
to
can't.
to make this as he said, no, this just the people trying to save their own booty.
No, it's not.
And I mean, and even if it is, you live streamed it. If you live streamed it and he's anywhere in the footage, if it's clear that that's his phone, you can say that it was the other people's idea, but he live streamed it, which means that he went along with it, which means there still has to be a level of accountability there. I don't care if you're black, white, blue, green, from this country, not from this country. Accountability has to mean something when the evidence clearly points to you and there's no doubt you did it, whether you R. Kelly, whether you P. Diddy, whether you Michael, whether you OJ, whether you Bill Cosby. I can keep going.
You can keep
But
going. It's insanity. It's legitimate insanity when it comes to this. I don't know what to even say or how to even put this because you blew it.
yeah,
That's the best way I can put it. You blew it. You blew it for an act of Lord knows what it was that provoked you to do it. What was the reason behind it?
something about he thought he felt that something got stolen in the Airbnb while he was in the Airbnb, I guess.
Okay,
According to what I was reading.
but if you felt that way, right?
Yep.
Then report it.
And he did, but they didn't find but they didn't find any evidence that pointed to them being guilty. So if they did do it, they covered it well enough to where the police couldn't figure it out.
So then you take the law into your own hands.
Yep.
You deserve what you get.
Yep, that was and that's the thing. That's why that was the main reason why that segue to that shady clip. That's
Yep.
why that's important because this conversation comes up so much and we make it a color thing. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't understand it. To some extent, I'm not saying that I don't agree with the unfairness of the situation. but details are important, and you have to remember what level you are.
True.
That's another reason why I purposely do people make me mad enough to want to be violent? Yes. One, people expect me to do it based upon the reputation of my people. That's one reason why I don't do it. Two, actually that would be one A. I really don't want to do it because of the fact of how easy it is for me to think of what I want to do. And if I could think it up that fast, is it really worth what all's gonna come with it? I'm gonna basically show the world like, yes, I am what my reputation precedes me to be. Look. And that's the part that people don't understand. It's oh, even if you have a good reason, like when people riot because somebody got a unarmed black person got shot. I get why you did it, but here's what I also see. You see, we told you that it was unruly and they have no control. See, look how violent they being. Look at how they tearing up stuff. They have no self-control. We told you. We told you in the book. Look in the book. Now you sit up here, you sticking up for them. Now you look in the book. We told you how they gonna be when they don't get their way.
Yeah.
And there are people that especially if they end up being victims in the process, you broke into their store, or God forbid, like what used to happen in a lot of schools I went to during Black History Month. You decide, hey, there's a white kid. Violence.
Lord, yeah. That's one of the ones where you would sit there and be like, are you serious? Why? What did you do it for? What was the reason?
It's like, well, technically I was skipping class, but I know what happened in Roots, and I'm gonna blame that kid who had nothing to do with
Nothing
it.
to do with it.
I'm
You
gonna
don't know
take it
what
out
his
on that
injustice.
kid. Really? And that's another reason why they're wanting to get rid of all that and play it like Germany and go, okay, we're going to try to wipe it from history because it's not doing us anything. People are still holding it against us going forward. Meanwhile, when they do something, they don't want it held against them. The hypocrisy.
Right.
There are people that are getting tired of the hypocrisy, and they have a point. But it's not going to change anything. Okay, let's just say you get rid of it. Is that going to somehow get rid of the people that are still doing it, that still
No.
feel that way? How's that going to get rid of that part? Because you're going to need to get rid of that part too in order to get that out of people's heads.
Yeah. And
And
they're not gonna do
my
it.
God, social media. Hello, social media. A lot of people like dropping that N word behind a computer, quote unquote, Tech Nine keyboard warriors, as Tech Nine likes to call them, keyboard warriors. Now, how you gonna get rid of that part while you getting rid of history? Because what you don't understand is what people are doing now is why people are holding on to history. Like I try to tell people when they try to, I had a conversation yesterday about this class because I gotta, trying to get better spiritually and everything, and I got some stuff I gotta clean up. And people got this thing where they go, well, if you're always seeing doom and gloom, I'm not seeing doom and gloom because I want to see it. I'm
Right.
saying doom and gloom because it's happening.
Yeah.
Now you want me so that I can mentally feel better. You want me to look at a duck and see it as a goose, even though technically it's a duck and it's messing with me. This duck is messing with me, but you want to see it as a friendly goose. No, it's a duck. A duck is a duck is a duck. Whether that duck represents a black person, a white person, a boss, a former friend, whatever the duck is. Quit trying to drive my mental health further through the roof, but so, well, you got to be more positive. Well, if I keep running into the same negative situations that keep flocking to me, again, why do you want me to identify a duck as a goose, as a mongoose, as a squirrel, as a pretty rabbit? No. I'm going to identify it as is, and it is what it is, period. I hope to God that he at least understands what he's done to himself and he takes some level of accountability. History says that he's going to have people surrounding him that is going to make that an issue. But trust me, eventually it's going to have to happen. It doesn't happen with everybody. Some people take it to their grave. But the one thing that I've noticed now, and I've noticed it, I'm not going to do what I hate what people do and say now. What I have noticed is that eventually the chosen few do end up getting it. Now maybe they have to stay in jail for a while. Maybe he has to do some of the jail time. He somehow wiggles his way out on the pill, and then he has to live life
as a governor
while still being branded, because you done got multiple felonies at one time. You can only expunge one, bro.
Yeah.
They put that way for a reason. That's another reason why I try to stay away from felonies. And I already know I'm an all in kind of person. So if I decide I'm coming at you, I'm going all in. I guarantee you, I'm getting felonies if I come at you. That's another reason why I'm like, I'm gonna go down hard.
I'm gonna go down swinging.
I'm gonna go down hard. There ain't gonna be no question. Their discussion is gonna be, so how soon we putting him on death row? How soon? Not if. There won't be a question of if. You're like, yeah, you definitely going on death row.
You
The
need to
question
go.
is how
You
soon.
need to go up.
The question is how soon. And
We're sending you up yonder.
Right. And that's a lot of people that have bullied me. They think that they got away. Like, yeah, you got away alive. I don't. That's why I didn't join the military. I'm afraid of what I will do if you give me that level of power with the level of pain that I've gone through. I know how I feel. And I wish I wish more people had that level of knowing themselves so that they could avoid a lot of situations like this. And I'm not perfect. I've still done stupid stuff.
Right. And nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I've done some stupid stuff. I've been accused of stupider, but that wasn't actually true. But I digress. Bottom line is we have to start showing a level of control to show people. You want people to see different, then you got to be different. And no, that does not make me white just because of how I decide to carry myself.
No, it shouldn't.
I'm still black,
but
I just don't carry myself like a lot of my brethren. I'm not an Uncle Tom, because that's part of the reason why I haven't been able to move up, because I kiss nobody's butt.
This is true.
The one thing that my bosses didn't like, they walk up to me like where I'm back at. They will walk up to me and go, "Hey, this customer's been here. They've been coming to us like 20 years. Take real good special care of their car." And I would look at them like they were retarded. I'm like,
What makes their car different than anybody else's?
I don't care if it's a new customer. I don't care if they've been here 50 years. Whatever my job is to do to that car, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it representing myself in the best way possible, representing the company in the best way possible. That's all you're getting from me. I don't know who this person is. I don't care who this person is. I'm trying to help them out because it's my job. I'm going to treat that car the way I would want somebody to treat my car. So they're going to get everything checked. They're going to get making sure that everything is put back on in the way that it's supposed to be, because that's what I would want somebody to do to my car. Again, I don't care how much money they got. I don't care how much money they spent with the company. What I care about is making sure that whatever is on that ticket that I'm supposed to do to that car, that I do it in a timely manner and to the best of my ability without damaging anything, so that everybody involved walks away happy.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
That's all anybody cares about.
I want to move up. I'm not going to kiss no boss's butt to get it. I am who I am. I am flawed, but I'm a good enough worker where I should be able to get that move up. Now, do I get some worry because I carry myself like that? Yes. But then I need you to back up your worry with actual proof beyond somebody's perception. I don't want to be held back because, well, I came in and I was real upset and he had this look on his face. Well, I mean, I have a serious look on my face all the time. Doesn't mean it was directed at you in any way. And you don't have any evidence of me saying anything to you. So you're basically going off of your perception and fear because you watch the news too much. Because I never said or insinuated anything that should have had you thinking, oh God, he's about to do something to me. Look at the look on his face. I'm scared. Okay. Well, meanwhile, my criminal record says you're fine. You'll be fine. You'll leave out the same way you came in one piece. Now, in my head, on the other hand, depending on how you came at me, but we don't live in Minority Report. So again, you're safe. And that's if whatever was in my mind was directed toward you, because 9 times out of 10, it was probably directed towards I knew who worked on the car. If I wanted to do anything to anybody, it was that person. I totally get why you're upset. You have a reason to be upset. Ooh, okay. We can end on that note. What happened? We can hit that one and end on that note. What happened?
We're running out with WWE.
Okay.
You haven't watched it yet, have you?
No.
Today.
No, I'm trying to get in all my dailies, and then I was gonna record that, unless my daughter still needs to go to the hospital.
Okay, so long story short, I'm not gonna spoil it for you until you watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't like. Well, I'll say it just like this. I'm starting to go over to AEW.
Okay.
And if there's one reason why
Okay.
I'm going over to AEW, is if they have a match with a stipulation or a end goal in mind for the match, for the winner, a prize for the winner, going on to the next one, they fulfill it.
Oh, You got my brain percolating. I want to know. I have to know now. Oh God. Okay, I gotta hurry up and get my dailies off of Bleach so I can figure out what you're talking about. It's
Just leave it that high level because this whole weekend of wrestling between TNA Slammiversary, uh, Great American NXT's Great American Bash, the Night of Champions for WWE, and AEW's Forbidden Door. Those 4 shows this weekend,
yeah.
all great shows. All of them were very, very well done.
What about NXT's? Because I wasn't able to watch that one live because
NXT, you had a new champion crowned on the women's side. You had the men's side retained. You had the North American retained. You had for both of them, the men's and women's, both was retained. Dark State, the Exile won, but he got his butt kicked.
naturally.
And then they plugged in a couple of different new storylines that they're gonna start running with after the fact. But all in all, good shows for that. But Slammiversary is TNA's main event. They
Yeah,
did a very
that's
good
their
job.
WrestleMania.
Right, they did a very good job with that show. And Night of Champions was pretty solid. But Night of Champions versus Forbidden Door.
Well, yeah, me and Tasha talk about that all the time. Is like Dynamite and Collision. Although they have been getting pretty they've been getting pretty talkative lately at the beginning of the show instead of starting out with matches like they used to.
Yeah,
Um um
but but the last three, shoot, not even the last three. Forbidden Door, the women's Owen Hart Championship match, great storytelling. The Didn't really care for the Omega Saber Jr. match.
Not shocking because
Um,
it's a the
it was
whole
a kind of a gimmicky one. I don't care for Tekla. I don't care for Tekla as the women's champion.
she is crazy.
Yeah, she crazy, but this is again the reason why, and I'm saying it just like this. The reason why I'm going to emphasize this statement one more time is that if there is a stipulation and a prize at the end of the match, they don't care about what it ends up being for the next match for what the destination was for it.
Mhm.
So in Forbidden Doors case, it's all in. They just want to see they're gonna own up to it unless there's some type of major swerve that happens in there. But they ain't gonna do it the next day.
I feel like I know where this is going because of what I saw on Night of Champions, which left me rather confused because something needed to be finished, and I will once I watch and see what you're talking about, I'm gonna see if what if what I'm thinking is going to be confirmed because after seeing the winners at Night of Champions, I knew that there was going to be a problem for SummerSlam. And I will leave that there. But
Yeah,
with that, because I know aside from what you told me, I know you at least got to get ready to shut everything down and head out the door and head home.
yeah.
Um this has been a very entertaining 80th episode of United World of Sports. Um,
80.
as you can see, as you can see, I'm not gonna pull no punches. And I don't care who it's about. I don't care if it's somebody that if I have a football team and the player on my team, the details came out about Vrabel. I'm not happy. It's not taking the team into in good
Oh, did I
after.
miss that?
Well, no, because remember when it all came out,
Oh
he
yeah.
kind of admitted it while she denied it and then didn't say nothing else. She just started making appearances with her husband in public,
Goofy.
uh, showing public PDA. But he kind of admitted it, said he needed help and needed to do better in terms of accountability because he knows he's coaching players and he expects accountability out of them. So and that basically told you everything you needed to know. Although I will ask a question. Bust Caitlin Clark. I saw something you saw me post in the group. Some people are trying to call her a bust. What
She's
do you
not
think?
a bust. Because think about it from this standpoint. She's been in Indiana for what, 2 years, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't Indiana didn't Indiana make the Eastern Conference Finals last year?
yeah. She was hurt, but yeah.
Right, she was hurt, but they still made it there. Aren't they one of the top teams in the league right now?
Mm,
Double check and make sure, but I could have swore they were. Where are we at? NCAA. There we are. WNBA. There we go.
yeah, right now they look like they're 11-8. They are third behind the Liberty and the Dream, according to what I'm seeing.
So here's my thing. Are we more shocked about Caitlin Clark? No, oh no, they're not. They're not. Hold on. In the league right now, they are seventh.
Like the league overall.
Yeah, league overall, they're seventh.
Okay. Yeah. In the East by itself, they're
Yeah, they're three in the East. But you know the thing about the WNBA is that I think they take the top 8 teams no matter conference.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So that's why they got it ranked like that. So they're a 7 seed now. So are they underachieving right now? Yes. But ooh, wait a minute. They are, you know what? They are underachieving because they're tied um with Becker's team in Dallas for that 6 and 7, but Dallas has a tiebreaker. Atlanta, you know that her and Angel Reese are going to be 1A and 1B, and Angel Reese actually been balling.
Oh, oh my God.
And then the Lynx and the Aces.
I hope this is not true.
Uh-oh.
Wouldn't surprise me, but I hope it's not true.
What? She pregnant?
Nah, Herb Dean, Alex's people are calling for Herb Dean to be tossed from the UFC.
Who?
Alex Pereira wants Herb Dean tossed from the UFC because of what happened. If he did that, then you'd have to toss every ref that's ever refereed a UFC match. Period.
I'm done. All right. Yeah, I'm off. I'm off. I'm off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Make this make sense. What
I
was the point of freaking Night of Champions? What was the freaking
Oh, okay. All right. All right. With that, I'm done. I'm Dante Suave. This is
I'm a
Mr.
pissed
J.
off Mr. J.
And we will see y'all next week. Later.
Later.
You need maybe what you want.